this is starting to get on my fucking nerves now, okay? It's starting to get on my nerves. Okay, Shannon Sharp on Undisputed today said that Kevin Durant should thank Steph Curry for allowing him to come to Golden State and win those 2 championships and those 2 finals MVPs, all right? If it wasn't for that, then KD would not be seen as this all-time great player. He should thank Steph Curry for allowing him to come to Golden State, because elsewhere, other than that, he wouldn't have won. He wouldn't have won a championship, blah, 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 blah. All right, let me say this. Yes, I, along with a lot of people, hated the move. I hated it. That's my opinion. It's mine. I don't have to adjust my opinion for anybody else. I thought the move was cowardly when he did the shit. That's just my opinion. I'm not going to change it for anybody. But that's my opinion. KD can do whatever the fuck he want to do. If he felt like that was the right move for him, that's fine. That was 6 years ago. Yeah, I might put out a quote, a community post and say, oh, I think it was cowardly. That's just my opinion. It still don't take away from the fact that KD is one of the all-time great players in the history of this game. Top 15 in my opinion. At least top 20. But let me say this. I know for a fact that there's a lot of people in the mainstream media that are some wishy-washy ass motherfuckers, right? Because 2020, 2021, when the Warriors were flailing and failing as a franchise, flailing around and failing, everybody was saying, well, maybe Steph Curry was benefiting from playing with KD. Maybe it was Steph Curry that's been a fraud all the time. Maybe if it wasn't for KD, Steph Curry wouldn't have 2 of those 3 rings, right? Now, because of the fact that the Warriors were a healthy team for the first time really since 2018, because remember, Steph didn't play all that well during the regular season for stretches. He did play well in the playoffs, especially in the finals. But he had a deeper team, a healthier team, which was key. And I think that Steve Kerr has become a better coach over the years. Still think of him as a top 15 all-time coach, but I think he's gotten better. Contrast that with Kevin Durant on a team with so much turmoil and injury issues and a bad coach and a lot of things have just gone wrong that people are just totally throwing out of the equation when it comes to looking at what's happened in the last few years. Let's not forget, because we've been reminded time and time again, had not been for the heroic efforts of P.J. Tucker slowing down Kevin Durant just a little bit, that team would have been in the Eastern Conference Finals, and I think they probably would have beaten the Atlanta Hawks. And maybe we're talking about something totally different. Giannis got in the way in 2021. Look, woulda, coulda, shouldas. Woulda, coulda, shouldas. But I find it interesting that when Giannis won a championship, everybody was making the excuse of the only reason why that was the case is because KD was, Superman and was worn down by putting that team on his shoulders, and he was a champion, and, if his foot was on the line, we're talking a whole different story here. We're talking a whole different dynamic if that foot was on the line, was behind the line, excuse me. And other issues, injuries, Kyrie, Harden. But now, the narrative is KD really ain't all that good. All right, now it's starting to get stupid. He's not really that great a player. Look, part of this is Shannon Sharpe doesn't like Kevin Durant. Shannon Sharpe doesn't like Kevin Durant. We know this, all right? I do want to say this. If it wasn't for John Elway, right? If it wasn't for the greatness of John Elway, if it wasn't for the greatness of Terrell Davis, and if it wasn't for the greatness of Ray Lewis and that historic defense in Baltimore, you wouldn't have won any championships either, Shannon Sharpe. You were a great player. But when I think of those Super Bowls, correct me if I'm wrong, but do we really think of any great moments from Shannon Sharpe in those Super Bowls? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there was something I'm forgetting, but all I think of is John Elway. All I think of is that brutal Baltimore Ravens defense. Terrell Davis. Yeah, I think you got carried too, man. More so. At least Kevin Durant dominated it on the big stage. And I gotta say this at the end of this video. Why is this only a one-way street with this whole thing? Why is it that people are penalizing? I get it because that's his team or whatever. But why is it that people are only penalizing Kevin Durant for going to the Warriors, but they're not penalizing Steph Curry and Clay and Draymond for winning 2 of their 4 titles on a super team? I'm trying to understand that angle. Why are all of the criticisms going toward KD, but not toward Steph, Draymond, and Clay for being on 2 super teams? I don't know. Like I said, it's just my opinion, man. It's just sports. Tell me what you guys think.